All right. Welcome to the Transformation Q&A Thursday. My name is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, and since 2004, I've helped thousands of people around the world through energy healing, meditation, and practical spirituality transform their lives. And this is the platform to bring your toughest, hardest, most incomprehensible questions about spirituality, energy, healing, meditation, and actually get some answers. Now, if I don't have the answer, I'll admit it. I don't have the answer. But if I don't have that answer, I also will do my very best to find the answer for you. And maybe not in this live, but we can do it afterwards. So everything that I say that is correct is because of my teacher, Grandmaster Cho Koksui, the modern founder of Pranic healing and Arhatic yoga. And everything that I say that is incorrect is because of my own misunderstandings, blind spots, limitations. But I do my very best to help facilitate each and every one of the people that are part of this group. And we have a teeny tiny group, but the group is going to continue to grow. This is my sole focus for the next year of building and building and building this group. And so we always start off our meditations with an invocation. We always start off our healings with an invocation. So we're going to start this group off with an invocation. So if you care to join, be aware of the heart. You can have your hands on your heart. Be aware of your heart. Be aware of your crown. Be aware of your heart and your crown together. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, respected and beloved teacher, Grandmaster Cho Koksui, to Lord Mahaguru Jmeling, to Lord Buddha Kuan Yin, to all the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, to the angels of clarity and understanding, angels of communication, to our divine selves or higher souls, we humbly invoke for your divine light, love, and power, for your help, guidance, and protection. We ask to receive answers to our deepest, most heartfelt questions to move our lives forward, to become better people and better souls. We thank you, Lord God. We thank you all with gratitude, respect, and love. So be it. Thank you. Okay, so we have about 45 or so minutes, like our time slot for today. So we're in no big rush, but feel free to throw out. Alif, where were you? You missed the beginning. You missed everything. Might as well just log. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So we are currently recording. So anything that you guys ask is going to be recorded, and then the chat log is not recorded. So then I will just verbalize whatever question you have if you type it out for the people that are, because years later, people are going to be seeing this information, right? And if there's any technical difficulties throughout, that's okay. It's to be expected. We're on Zoom. It is what it is. And we'll do our best to work with that. Okay. So any questions to start off? I have the questions off to the side over here, but anything that you guys want to know, something around energy healing, meditation, or practical spirituality, which each of those subjects in and of themselves are gigantic and could fill encyclopedias. But feel free to throw out the question. You can take yourself off of mute, or you can just type in the question in the chat room.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I can, yes.
Okay, all right. You know, I haven't really been practicing Arhat for some time, unfortunately. And I was just really trying to get into my practice for the past year because I really felt I needed to, you know. I've had a lot of challenges and I felt it was the right time. Even though I've always done Twin Hearts, I wasn't as consistent as I should have been. But um, I have questions about Kundalini energy because I haven't started going back to all my Arhatic meditations yet.
Okay.
And, you mentioned the other day that it's something that, as you get older, you seem to lose somewhat unless you stay after it. I guess practice makes perfect.
So
You
lose
know,
Kundalini or lose something else?
Kundalini.
Okay. not necessarily. It's a very good question. Just so it's clear for everybody, because we're going to have people that are part of this that aren't even pranic healers. They're not Arhatic yogis, right? So we want to make sure we meet everyone where they're at. And obviously there's certain things I can talk about and not talk about depending on the people that are in the group. Because I don't have the authorization to start going into the higher levels of Arhatic.
Of course, I understand.
Okay, so there's an old Chinese proverb. When is the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the second best time to plant a tree? Right now. Okay. So always do your Arhatic practice, and I'm going to mute you in case there's any feedback. So with any spiritual practice, you're going to be generating energy. The more advanced the school, the more energy that you generate. So if you're getting pulled or called to, hey, I've been doing my Twin Hearts meditation daily and it's been wonderful, but I want to ramp it up. I want to go to the next level. So that would be the Arhatic practice and the Arhatic meditations. Now, as you do your practices, it's going to stir up things in the inner world. So spiritual energy is a fertilizer and spiritual energy accelerates. So if you have a plot of land and you have grass, or you have seeds of grass, and you introduce water and fertilizer, the grass will grow faster. If you introduce fertilizer to the weeds will grow faster, right? So spiritual energy is the fertilizer. So if your life has a level of stability, by all means, do your Arhatic yoga practice. If your life is chaotic without doing your Arhatic yoga practice, I would recommend getting that part or parts of your life stable before you start doing Arhatic, because it's like a car. We used this example before. It's like a car that has a flat tire that's going 5 miles an hour. You don't really notice it. Am I back again? Is it normal again? I'll wait a second to see if it clears up. Let me know when it's clear again. Good? It's clear again. Perfect. So when you have a car that's going 5 miles an hour and has a flat tire, you don't really notice it. But if you have a car that's going 85 miles an hour with that same flat tire, you really notice it. So the spiritual energy is the speed. The speed. You can hear, but the picture's frozen. Okay, well, the picture's frozen. Sorry, Zoom people, the picture's frozen, but hopefully you'll still get benefit from the play, the audio. Okay, so that being said, yes, if you're getting called to do your Arhatic practice, I would recommend doing it. And to give you an understanding, the meditations that most accelerate your karma is Higher Soul, or the Blue Pearl meditation, then Kundalini, then Dhyan, then Twin Hearts. Okay? So you can start with Twin Hearts, then go to Dhyan, then go to Kundalini, then do Blue Pearl, to gradually work your way back into a regular practice. So far, so good. I'm doing my best to slowly talk. Okay. Did that answer your question, Indiana? Yes? Good.
Okay.
Good. Okay. What else? And feel free. You guys can ask several questions in a row. Don't be shy. This is for you guys. Also, anyone that has questions about the programs, right? Because as part of your membership, you got 4 programs that some of you have gone through. If you have questions about those programs, you can ask about those as well.
So, Christian, can you hear me?
Yes.
Everybody can hear me? Okay, perfect. So for the program, I finished it 10 times, and the other one, the second one, the third and fourth says it is not loaded. So do we have to buy that as well, or it's part of the inner transformation group?
The third and fourth are not loaded. Okay, I'll look into
Like
that.
understanding man as a
Okay, yes, that's part of the program. So thank you for that feedback. I'll look into that. So both understanding men and understanding women are not loaded.
not loaded. Yes, it
Okay,
says not loaded.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I will check into that and find out what's going on. Thank you. Okay, what else?
Okay. And my second question is little bit okay. My second question, when one of our meditation day, you were talking about you primarily belongs to Master Cole's center, and also, I don't understand, but you say something and you start promoting two centers. My question is right now, like I start learning pranic healing in Ontario, and right now I'm joining your group and I'm promoting your channel. At the end of the day, my understanding is we are doing, we are spreading pranic healing no matter what center you belongs to. I hope I'm not doing something bad. I don't know. Like I feel a little bit worried about it. Is it normal, or am I doing right or wrong? I don't know.
Very, very good question. Very good question, because I've had that come up for me. The question Alif is asking, within the world of pranic healing and Arhatic yoga, there are different centers around the world, and different masters are responsible for different areas. So if you're getting fed from one person who's in an entirely different area and you're promoting them, are you going against the instructor or master that's in your current area? So it's more relevant when you're in an instructor than an ordinary practitioner. Does that make sense? So if you're just practicing, you can promote whomever, right? You can promote the West Coast, the East Coast, Master Nona, etc. But if you're an instructor and you're under a certain umbrella, like I'm under the West Coast umbrella, I primarily promote 98% of the time things that Master Co is doing. Does that make sense? So it's not that I don't tap into other masters and other classes and other events, but I'm getting spiritually fed from the West Coast. Does that make sense? And what did I want to cover with Indiana said something about meditation that sparked my, it'll come back to me. It's okay. So these are some of the questions that I got for the group, and feel free, right? You guys can continue putting questions in the chat room and I'll respond to them. So benefits of meditating alone versus meditating with the group. What are the benefits of meditating alone versus meditating with the group? But Master Merlag is East, correct. Yes, Master Merlag and Master Glenn on the East Coast. That is correct. Master Nona is Canada, right? Master Nona is Canada and South America. So also I realize probably for future, I might have only video for the main speaker, me, and have all the other video cameras turned off, so it has the bandwidth is not so stressed. That makes sense. Okay. So this is a learning curve. It's okay. It's part of the practice. So benefits of meditating alone versus meditating in group. This is an interesting one. I started my spiritual path in 1999 with transcendental meditation, where I spent the first 7 or 8 months of my spiritual path meditating alone. I would meditate in the morning and I would meditate in the evening for 20 minutes each time. And then when I ended up going to school at Maharishi University of Management, which is where David is right now, we would meditate in a group of about 50 to 70 people in one room. And I immediately noticed how powerful the experience was of meditating in a group. And this particular phenomenon is called the Maharishi effect, that there have been over 600 studies done since the early 70s of what happens when 1% of the population is meditating what does it affect that area? And then what does the square root of 1% of the population, how does it affect the area? And they looked at many different metrics. They looked at crime. They looked at um, natural disasters. They looked at weather. They looked at different factors to determine what happens when a percentage of the population is meditating at the same time. It was very interesting. So I went from meditating by myself to meditating with 50 to 70 people to meditating to about 800 to 900 people at one time. And the effect got exponentially stronger, but my understanding and skill as a meditator continued to increase. So it's compounded. Now, the term a rising tide raises all ships. A rising tide raises all ships. So if you're low energetically when you go into a group, the group will pull you up. Have you guys noticed people who have not been meditating with the group regularly who come back into the group and meditate, they go, whoa, because they have not been practicing, their energy level has been going down, and the group's energy level continues to build and build and build, and it pulls them up, right? Makes sense? So far, so good. Now, in general, it's better to meditate with a group in the beginning because it builds collective energy, it builds accountability, it builds a sense of community that people keep plugging into because they like that experience, right? Which is what we created over the past 10 months and what we're going to be creating in this Inner Transformation membership. It's the same thing. But that being said, no great spiritual teacher have achieved their great enlightenment or their Mahasamadhi in a group. All of them have spent time, lots and lots of time in isolation. So in the beginning, you meditate with a group to learn the ins and outs of your spiritual practice. And then as you mature and advance as a practitioner, you spend more and more time alone. Then you have high levels of awakening, high levels of understanding, greater connection to the higher soul. Then you come back into a group to pull that group up, right? So there are benefits. Now, there could be downsides to meditating in a group. Could be. Because let's say you're meditating at home and you create a nice, beautiful space. You meditate the same day, same time every single day. You have the incense burning, you have your meditation cushion, you have your beautiful shawl, and you just sit and you are blissed out of your mind, right? You've impregnated that area with divine energy. Let's say you invite 10 people over to your meditation place that are all at different levels of development, all at different levels of stress, all at different levels of negative thoughts and negative emotions. That takes energy to harmonize the entire group and to lift them up. So actually, in some cases, it could be harder. It's like if you were to meditate with a group of inmates, it would be harder to lift the energy of the whole group up because of where they are. Even though it's still a group and group meditation, it's harder to lift up that group versus you and two other people who are advanced practitioners. Does that make sense? So it's really quite fascinating when you think about the difference between meditating individually or meditating in a group. I recommend you meditate with a group occasionally throughout the week, but you always do your meditation practice daily by yourself. So it's kind of like extra meditation. Twin Hearts, you can't really overdo. It's one of the meditations that Master Choa says you can continue to do no matter what is happening in your life. As with more advanced meditations that are taught, say, in Arhatic yoga, you reduce the amount of time. Some people can't do Arhatic yoga at all because their bodies can't handle it. None of the practices. Okay. Question number 2. When doing general sweeping on a toddler or young child, use white only? Yes. So in pranic healing, we have white prana, colored prana, and higher vibrational pranas or energies. Children's energy bodies are still forming. They're very, very sensitive to energy. So it's recommended to be very soft, very gentle, and use white energy. No red, no blue, no green, no yellow, no colored energies. Likewise with elderly people. Now, in general, it means don't energize. Don't energize. So you can cleanse. I recommend for infants to cleanse with no colors. Elderly people, you can cleanse with colors, but energize with no colors. But basically, you have to have very, very soft energy. If the child is advanced, they can handle higher energies. So this was a question that I've heard many times. How to let go? How to let go, right? How many people want to let go in their meditations? I just want to let go. I just want to have a good time, right? So you have to ask the question, what is it that you're letting go of? What is it that you're letting go of? Right? Because we have to define things. If you can't define something, you can't understand it. We talked about that a little bit yesterday in the video we did on how to find your soulmate. If I asked you what a soulmate is, you'd be like, it's this, or maybe this, or kind of this. So if you don't really know what a soulmate is, you can't define it. Therefore, you can't understand it. Therefore, you can't study it. Does that make sense? So let go of what? I want to let go. In general, what people mean when they let go, when they say they let go, is they let go of the things that are preventing them from knowing who and what they are, which is the soul. So it starts with letting go of the body. That's the first thing, is letting go of the body. So in order for you to most do that effectively, you have to be still, physically still. So when you're physically still, what's going to happen is you might notice some sensations in your physical body. And you have to mentally say, I am not these sensations. I am not the body. And then what happens is your consciousness starts removing itself from the body. Then, as you're still physically, your emotions start becoming activated. You start feeling things, irritability, anxiousness, worry, sensations and vibrations in the emotional body. You just observe. Be still, be aware. I am not these emotions. I am not these feelings. I am not this anger. I am not this hatred. I am not this impatience. That's another thing that people have. When is this going to be over? So what are they meditating on? They're meditating on the expectation of the meditation being over, or the practice being over. A girlfriend of mine, long time ago, we still laugh about it. She would do a meditation with the group, Twin Hearts, right? She would sit and do Twin Hearts, and then we would do healing, right? That's the typical protocol. We all meditate together, and then we break off into individual groups, and then we do healing on each other. Pranic healers heal non-pranic healers, or pranic healers heal other pranic healers. You know why she didn't like that? Because she had to sit again. So she already was anxious sitting for 20, 30 minutes for the meditation. Then she's like, I have to sit another 20 or 30 minutes for the healing. And I go, you're getting healing. You're getting healing on stress, bitterness, anger, whatever it is that you ask the healer to heal you on, and you're all worked up about it. Think about that. So we would always laugh about it, because it's like, it's a free healing. You got a free meditation with the free healing, and then you're upset about that. Why? Because she was meditating on her frustration, which was amplifying frustration within her emotional body. But if she would meditate on, I'm not this frustration, I am the soul, she can start removing her consciousness and go higher, right? So then the next thing is, as you become aware of your emotions, they calm down, and then the mental body becomes stimulated. So then your thoughts start becoming activated. Your thoughts start coming activated. Let me see. Who do I have to call? Errands I have to do. What am I doing after the meditation? Oh, I forgot to do that assignment this morning for school, for work, for this, for that. Now you're meditating on your erratic thoughts, which is most where people get stuck at. Most people get stuck at. And what's fascinating, I learned many, many years ago, If you want to control the mind, you have to control the breathing. So when you control your breath, which is prana, which is more subtle than the mental body, you can control what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're moving. But again, you have to keep going higher. So as you be aware of your thoughts, you go, I'm not these thoughts. These are not who and what I am. I'm the soul. Then your consciousness starts to go even higher. So you're going from the physical, emotional, mental, and now you're into the causal plane, which you also have to let go of. So when we be aware of the brilliant point of light above the crown, that's the insertion point of the incarnated soul, you have to let go. So you've already let go of your physical body. You shouldn't even feel your physical body at that point in the meditation. You've already let go of your feelings, your anxiousness, whatever. You've already let go of your thoughts, hopefully. And now you're at the point of light. And then you let go. You merge with the point of light. There's nothing else to hold on to. You've let go. Master Choa did an example of filling up balloons, and he took us all outside. This was during our Arhatic yoga retreat. And he says, grab the balloon. And we all went outside, and he says, look at your balloon. And he says, now let go. And he goes, that's what letting go is like. That's it. That's it. Super, super easy. You just let go. Make sense? Good. Hopefully I'm still not frozen, but we will see in the recording. Question number 3, how do you speak up to others or give them needed feedback without hurting their feelings? Number 1, when you talk with these people, talk from the heart, not from here and not from here. So you be aware of your heart as you're communicating, because the words that come out of your mouth will be coated with pink energy. So you talk from the heart. Number 2, you have to get somebody's buy-in. This is connected to coaching. If somebody's not open or receptive, don't waste your time. Big or small, doesn't matter. Okay. Number 3, say it if it has to be said. Don't say it if it doesn't have to be said. Seems obvious, but it's not so obvious. If it doesn't need to be said, then don't say it. Okay, it says my internet is unstable. No, it's not. It's super stable. Okay. So, and then 4th, you cannot control other people. You can influence others, but you can't control other people. Beth, can I make a suggestion? Open arms. Okay. When you cross, this is for everyone that's watching, right? So when you cross your arms, the energy is not going in. So you're closed off. Also, that's a protective mechanism that people do. Because when you cross your arms, it shields the solar plexus. Right? So we always want to be open and receptive when we receive teachings of any kind. Correct. You're closing the upper part of your aura when you cross your arms. When you cross your legs, you close the lower part of your aura. Right? Not necessarily the case when you're doing, well, let's see. Yeah, you actually are closing when you do lotus and half lotus, but you're forcing the energy to go up. Okay. Number 5, question number 5, mambo number 5. How do I let go of built up anger? How do I let go of built up anger? Forgive. Grandmaster Choa Koksui says forgiveness is therapeutic. You have to forgive. One of the masters recently said you have to forgive daily. It has to be part of your natural existence. You have to forgive daily. And the way that we forgive is we recognize and understand I'm in the process of growing and evolving. I make mistakes. That other person is in the process of growing and evolving. He or she makes mistakes. I'm not perfect. They're not perfect. So you're having understanding. You're having understanding. That's what Jnana Yoga is, the yoga of understanding. You're going, I'm mad at this person and they did something to me that hurt my feelings, that made me lose money, that made me lose opportunities, that caused disharmony in a relationship. Have I done those things before? Of course. So you have to have understanding, and then you can forgive, because forgiveness is ultimately for you, not the other person. The interesting thing about forgiveness is the person who injured you most likely has completely forgotten about it or is completely unaware that they hurt you. Because when we hurt people, we're coming from a place of unconsciousness. Interesting, right? So we have to go, wait a minute. I am still suffering 5 years later. Whoo, this doesn't give me any inner peace holding on to this anger. So you have to let go of anger. It's super important. I cannot emphasize, I've been working with clients for over 10 years just on forgiveness. I cannot overemphasize how important it is to forgive. It's really, really important. Okay. How to help out with focus when you have ADHD. This is an important distinction. Attention deficit disorder. How do you help out? How to help out with focus? Number one, do not identify with the condition, ailment, or disease. Did you guys hear that? Do not identify with the condition, the ailment, or the disease. Very, very important. Very important. Meaning, when somebody stands up at an AA meeting and they say, "Hi, my name is Christian and I'm fill in the blank," they are identifying with that thing, which shrinks their spiritual connection, shrinks their aura, and shrinks their chakras, which disempowers them. The reason AA as a 12-step program is empowering is because it starts off with humility, surrender, and the recognition of a higher power. That is why a 12-step program is powerful. But in that language within the program, that's not helpful to identify as an addict, as a this, as a that. You are the soul. So when someone says, I have or I am a person who can't focus, attention deficit disorder, et cetera, that's the problem. So number one, identify with the soul first, not the condition, the disease, or the ailment. And focus, this person needs to clarify what they mean by focus, how to help out with focus. So the Ajna chakra deals with focus. Have you ever been working on a project and then you hear somebody far away is calling you and you completely just don't even acknowledge them? You don't even hear that they're calling you, or your phone's ringing and you're not even aware, or you have an alarm going off and you're not even aware. Has that ever happened? You've been so focused on something, okay? Ajna chakra. So when the ajna is activated, it focuses like a laser beam and goes deep into something. So what it does energetically is it pushes out anything and everything that is not relative to the conversation, that is not relative to the thing that you are focusing on, a problem you're trying to solve, something you're trying to create, whatever the case may be. Now, when you are meditating and you're doing a contemplation or a awareness meditation, the ajna disengages and the forehead becomes activated. So they work inversely to one another. When your ajna is activated, your forehead becomes smaller. When your forehead's activated, your ajna becomes smaller. That's why it's very difficult for people who are focused all the time at work, making money, making things happen, running a business, directing people, why it's very difficult for them to have awareness, inner peace, stillness, because they have not trained their energy body to shift from one to the other. Likewise, somebody that meditates all the time and is blissed out all the time and ungrounded all the time, it's very difficult for them to focus and to go deep into something. When a teacher is teaching, they're having to do both. They're having to be aware of what's the student's energy, how focused they are or not focused, and also they're having to be focused on the information that they're providing. Make sense? Perfect. Okay. How long do you have to meditate before experiencing results? Again, we have to define something. What results? What's a result for you? If somebody goes, well, how long before I experience a little bit of inner peace? One meditation versus how long before I experience the enlightenment of the Lord Buddha? Couple more lifetimes, right? So what I love so much about pranic healing is, in general, you can do Twin Hearts one time and experience a lot of stillness, a lot of peace, one meditation. It was interesting. I had a client who attended our meditation group regularly in Denver for a couple years. And what was interesting about it was I asked him one time, I go, how is meditation for you in general? And he goes, to be honest with you, I don't experience anything during the meditation. I don't feel anything. I don't see anything. I don't go anywhere. I don't even really feel that much different beginning and end of meditation. I go, really? I said, why do you keep coming back? He says, because my entire week is much, much better after the meditation. When I show up, because we only did it on Sundays, he says, when I show up on Sundays, my whole week is much, much better. When I don't show up on Sundays, my week or weeks are not as good. I don't know. Maybe it's the meditation, maybe it's not. So he was the type of guy that just was not sensitive because he was a business owner, always here. Very rarely here, very rarely here. So you should be able to experience noticeable shifts in your consciousness within 2 to 3 months of practicing Twin Hearts daily. That's pretty much the recommendation. Practicing daily for 2 to 3 months. You'll be light years ahead of where you were. Should I lay down or sit up while meditating? Should I lay down or sit up while meditating? If the body is sick, lay down. If the body's sick and getting healing, it's okay to lay down. But in general, you want to be upright, because when you lay down, when you put your back on a solid object, it compresses the back meridian or the back energy channel. So energy doesn't flow as smoothly. And in general, when people lay down to meditate, what do? They fall asleep. Exactly. They fall asleep. So that defeats the purpose of meditation, because you're not practicing awareness of your physical body, emotional body, mental body, higher bodies, higher energies. You're already, you're in the inner world and less conscious. Make sense? So I don't recommend that people lay down when they meditate unless their body is physically sick or injured. Let's see. Besides sitting quiet with eyes closed, concentrating on my breathing, I don't know what else to do. Can someone give me some more advice, please? So the person's asking, other than sitting, closing my eyes, and being aware of my breath, what else is there? This is a person that doesn't even have the basic understanding of meditation. What is meditation for? Oneness. Oneness with God, oneness with all. That's all practices, all religions, all belief systems, everything is pointed towards oneness. So any school that teaches contrary to that, they're going to be pulling you away from oneness, right? So everything is about oneness. So it looks as though I'd have to talk to the person more to get greater detail, but concentrating on your breath is extremely powerful and potent, but you have to have a good teacher to teach you the higher practices of just being aware of your breath. What did we talk about earlier? The breath controls the mind, controls the emotions, controls the body. So if you can master your breathing, you can master most other areas of your life, which requires awareness and concentration, both of them together. So there is much, much more to meditation. Okay. What does it mean? Here's our last question. What does it mean to consecrate something? What does it mean to consecrate something? This is a pretty big topic. It's quite fascinating, actually. But consecration means linking that thing, a plate, a cup, a wafer, a crystal, a shawl, a meditation cushion. It means linking that thing to the divine. It means divine energy is pouring into that thing. Now, the whole where the rubber meets the road with consecration is it's a program that is given by a spiritual person into that thing. So you would take this cup and through a specific program, which is called Ray 7 Energy, the ray of ritual, you would program this cup to be linked to the divine. So then every liquid that comes out of this cup is consecrated. It's blessed. It's impregnated with divine energy. The stronger, or let me rephrase that, the bigger the spiritual cord of the person, the bigger their cord and the bigger the crown, the stronger the consecration. So a thing that we are most familiar with consecration is the Holy Eucharist in the Catholic faith, the Christian faith. The priest has the bread of Lord Jesus, right? The symbolic body of Lord Jesus, and then the wine, and it's consecrated. What's interesting is that consecration practice, that ritual has been done millions and millions of times over the past 1500 plus years. So it has built energy. So just even an ordinary person going through the ritual will impregnate and anchor divine energy into that object. But the bigger the crown chakra and spiritual cord of the priest, the more powerful the effect. So if someone's going to program one of your healing crystals or a extractor crystal or a rose quartz ball, the bigger the crown chakra of the person programming it, the better. Make sense? That's nice. Questions, comments, concerns, additional questions, I should say, on Transformation Q&A Thursday. Did you guys get value from tonight, by the way? Was this helpful? Yes? Good. The other thing that I want you to be aware of, so one of Master Choa's tenets, one of his most powerful tenets, your internet connection is unstable. Oh yeah? Is to know, to remember, to practice and master. That's one of the most important things. So I've reviewed basic classes many, many times, advanced classes many, many times, Arhatic yoga many, many times. And every time I review it, I'm remembering something, which then gives me opportunity to practice the thing I'm remembering and then eventually master that thing. So just because you hear something twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 7 times, 8 times, does not mean you're practicing and doesn't mean you've mastered it. So we only need to cover a few techniques. Make sure you remember the techniques and practice them properly, and then you master that, and your life will forever be transformed. So it's a really, really big thing that I want to encourage everyone in the group. All the notes that you take in the group, practice something with it. That's why it's called practical spirituality. We're not talking about yugas and 20,000 year cycles. We're not talking about the divine spark, which are all great things, because there's no practicality to that, right? There's no practicality. It doesn't help you with your health. It doesn't help you with your relationships. It doesn't help you with your finances, knowing about a 250,000 year cycle. It's interesting. It activates the forehead chakra. It activates the crown chakra, but it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you necessarily evolve. Make sense? Okay. So anything else before we close out? Indiana, you're talking in code?
Okay, where is the best meditation spot in the house? Like which room?
Good question. So this would be connected to Pranic.
Bedroom?
Right?
Bedroom, for instance, my like I do my meditation in my bedroom. Is it good or bad?
Good question. Very good question. Okay, so Alif is asking the question, where is the best spot in the house to meditate in? Well, it's the spot that you designate that's your meditation area, and the spot that has the least amount of activity. The least amount of activities. So you have different kinds of energies. You have tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic energies. Sattvic are rhythm and calming energies. That's where you want to have your meditation spot. So probably not in the kitchen, not in the living room. One of my mentors has his meditation area in his closet. Nothing goes in there other than his spiritual practice. He opens up the door. He has a little altar. He has a meditation chair. He sits down and he meditates in his closet. And if you step into that closet, it's like going into a different planet because the energy is so potent and concentrated in that area, and it's shielded. So I think it's a good spot for, without doing it in a closet, you meditating in your bedroom. I think that's a good space.
It is so interesting right now. All my kids, everyone wants to be in the bedroom, even though I am there or not there. Everybody is in the bedroom.
Because the energy pulls. Yeah. It's similar with animals. If you've ever had animals around you and you start meditating, 9 times out of 10, they come over and want to sit in your lap or sit near you because they notice there's a change in their frequency of that space. So when you meditate in an area long enough, you create a spiritual cord. So you're consecrating the area. So when you have an item that's consecrated, if you look at it, it has a spiritual cord. Obviously, you have to be very advanced or have done it for a prolonged period of time to generate a spiritual cord to an item. But all the holy centers around the world, churches, synagogues, mosques, places where there's great devotion, all of them have spiritual cords because they're anchoring light into the city, the town, etc. Good question. Good question. Anyone else? Beth, got anything else? What did I say to you guys? I said, bring your hardest, meatiest, most difficult questions. Right? It's more fun that way.
Oh, by the way, mini question. Today, I try to use the Transformation Thursday Zoom account, but it says, there is another, host is doing another meeting. And I try randomly our regular, Hello?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. And I try our regular usual, Zoom meeting code, and it happened. Like the link you
Oh,
attach to inner transformation
you're
for
right.
your info, it doesn't
You're right.
support.
I just realized I used the old link that we always use.
Yes.
See, this is part of the learning curve. So the link I sent you guys, please use that link, not this link, but that's my fault. So why do I have this weird feeling that there are other people on the link? All right. Well,
maybe, yeah.
maybe.
Today, because that's why even I text you, okay, how can I, reach you? And randomly, I just, enter our usual 72, the usual Zoom number.
My fault.
For
My
your info.
fault. My fault. I totally take responsibility for that one. So from now on, don't use this link. Use the link that I sent you in the email when you signed up originally. Okay, good. Yeah, you just get into a rhythm, Good. Okay, perfect. All right. So on that note, we'll close up shop. Let's give thanks and have your questions for next week. And again, energy healing, meditation, and practical spirituality questions. Huge fields, huge. I want to rack my experience of 21 years in this world. So bring your questions. Be aware of your heart. So much gratitude, happiness, and joy. Be aware of your crown. Be aware of your heart and your crown together. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, respected and beloved teacher, Grandmaster Chogo Koksui, to Lord Mahaguru Jmeling, to Lord Buddha Kuan Yin, to Lord Ganesh, to Holy Master Count Saint Germain, to all the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, to the angels of clarity, understanding, and inner and outer transformation, to our divine selves or higher souls, we humbly give thanks for your divine light, love, and power, for your help, guidance, and protection. Thank you for helping us become better people and better souls. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. With gratitude, respect, and love, so be it. Thank you. All right, everyone. Lots of love to each and every one of you. May God and teachers' blessings be upon you. And I look forward to seeing you on Sunday for our lecture. I have an interesting lecture planned. Our lecture, our meditation, and our healing. And we're going to start doing more physical exercises, specific physical exercises after the healing, so you can assimilate the energies and store the energies better. Okay? So we'll go over that on Sunday. Other than that,